The night was quiet, the camp was asleep, and only the wind moved softly across the barren land. The human soldier lay inside his small tent, far away from home, far away from everything normal. The stars above the alien sky seemed brighter than the stars on Earth. Yet they felt colder, like they belonged to another world that would never welcome him. He was tired from the long day, his uniform dusty, his boots still at the edge of his bedroll, his rifle close to his side. He was trained never to rest without it. The war between humans and the alien race had lasted many months, both sides full of suspicion, both sides waiting for the other to strike. But tonight was supposed to be peaceful. No alarms, no patrols close by, just silence. The kind of silence that makes a man hear his own heart. The soldier was drifting into sleep, his eyelids heavy, his body sinking deeper into the blanket, when a faint sound touched his ears. It was not the sound of the wind, not the cry of some desert animal. It was softer, more careful, like someone trying not to be heard. His body froze. His hand moved slowly toward the rifle. His breath shallow, he told himself it was nothing, only his mind playing tricks. But then he heard it again. A whisper of fabric moving, a shadow sliding across the tent wall. The soldier's heart pounded, his finger rested near the trigger. He was ready to fight, ready to kill if needed. But what came next was something he had never trained for. The flap of his tent shifted, and through the opening slipped a figure, slow, graceful, and silent. He aimed the rifle instantly, his voice sharp. "Stop right there." But the figure did not flinch, did not run. Instead, the figure stepped fully into the tent, and in the dim glow of the small lantern, he saw her. She was not human. Her skin held a soft glow, as if lines of light were etched across her arms and face. Moving like living tattoos, her eyes were wide, dark yet shining. Not the eyes of a soldier, not the eyes of an enemy with a weapon, but the eyes of someone carrying a secret. The soldier's mouth went dry. He had seen aliens before, but always from a distance across the battlefield, through the scope of his rifle. Never this close, never inside his tent, never looking at him as if she knew him. "What do you want?" he asked, his voice low, steady, but inside he was shaking. The alien woman did not attack, did not show fear. She raised her hand slowly, her voice soft, strange yet clear in his language. "Do not resist. This is a ritual of unity." The words made no sense. They hit his ears like a riddle. Unity, he thought. There was no unity between humans and her kind. Only blood, only distrust. "What are you talking about?" he demanded. "Who sent you?" Her gaze stayed locked on his, unblinking, calm. "No one sent me. I chose this. It is our way. Once in many cycles, a bond must be tested. A bond between two who should never meet. Two who should never trust. Only then can the truth be seen." The soldier's grip on the rifle tightened, his mind racing. Was this a trick? Was she here to spy? To kill him in his sleep? Yet why would she come alone? Why would she speak of unity? The alien woman took one step closer, slow enough for him to stop her, but he did not. Something in her eyes made him wait, made him listen. She whispered again, "If you fight me now, the ritual will fail, and both of us will pay the price." His breath caught. He did not like the sound of that. His instincts screamed danger, yet his heart told him something else, something unexplainable. There was no weapon in her hands, no hate in her voice, only urgency, only a strange kind of courage. "What ritual?" he asked again, softer this time, against his own judgment. She leaned closer, her glowing lines pulsing faintly. "A ritual older than war, older than hate. My people call it the path of unity. Once complete, it binds two spirits, two minds. It shows if peace is possible, or if we are doomed to fight forever." The soldier stared at her. Sweat on his brow, he wanted to laugh, to call it madness, but the seriousness in her voice stopped him. She believed every word. She believed enough to risk her life walking into an enemy's tent. For a moment, silence filled the small space. His finger hovered on the trigger. Her hands remained lifted. The only sound was their breathing. One human, one alien. Both trapped in a moment neither could escape. Finally, he lowered the rifle, only slightly, not fully, just enough to show he was listening. Her eyes softened, and for the first time she smiled. Faint, fragile, but real. "You have a choice," she said. "Accept the ritual or reject it, but know this. If you reject it, war will continue and more will die. If you accept, even if you hate me, even if you fear me, something new can begin." His chest tightened. Her words struck deeper than he wanted. He did not know if it was a trick, or fate, or madness, but he knew one thing. Tonight was no longer an ordinary night. Tonight, something had entered his tent that would change his life. The soldier sat frozen, staring into her glowing eyes. Unable to move, unable to decide, fear and curiosity battled inside him, and as the lantern flickered, he realized the night was only beginning, and with that, the ritual had already started. Whether he wanted it or not, the tent felt smaller now, as if the air itself was pressing in on him. The human soldier kept his rifle close, but his finger no longer rested on the trigger. He was staring at the alien woman. Her glowing marks seemed alive, shifting slowly across her skin like rivers of light. She was calm, far too calm for someone who had just entered the tent of her enemy. Her words still echoed in his mind. A ritual of unity. The phrase had no meaning in his world, but in hers it carried weight. He could see it in her eyes. She truly believed it. She truly risked everything for it. The soldier broke the silence, his voice sharp. "You walk into my tent at night. You talk about rituals and you expect me to believe you. Why should I trust a single word?" Her answer came without hesitation, soft yet steady. "Because I had every chance to kill you. But I did not, because I crossed the line my people fear. And I stand here unarmed." She slowly turned her hands to show her empty palms. "If this was a trap, you would already be dead." He hated that her logic made sense. He hated that his instincts whispered she might be telling the truth. He had been taught aliens were liars, deceivers, dangerous to the core, yet nothing about her felt like the enemy he had seen on battlefields. She was something different. "What do you want from me?" he asked, trying to sound firm. Though his voice cracked slightly, her eyes softened. The glowing tattoos on her skin brightened for a moment as if her body itself responded to emotion. "Only your hand," she said. "For the ritual to begin, it must start with touch." His grip on the rifle tightened again. "Touch, what happens if I give you that?" She hesitated, as if searching for the right word in his language, then spoke slowly. "You will feel me. My thoughts, my truth, and I will feel yours. There is no lie in the ritual, no mask, only what is real. It is dangerous. But it is the only way." The soldier's heart pounded. He imagined traps, poisons, psychic tricks, but at the same time a part of him wanted to know, wanted to see if there was truth behind her glowing eyes. His mind battled itself, his training against his curiosity. "Why me?" he asked suddenly, his voice low. "Why not another human? Why not another time? Why risk coming here?" For the first time her calm cracked, her voice trembled. "Because the leaders will never allow it. They fear what the ritual might reveal. They fear it will show that humans and my kind are not enemies, but mirrors. I came alone because I had to. Because I saw you in battle. I saw how you carried mercy even when you could have taken life. You are the one." Her words struck deeper than he expected. He remembered the moment, an alien soldier wounded, helpless, and he had let him live against orders. He never thought anyone saw, but she had. And now she stood before him, choosing him. The tent was silent again. Only the sound of the lantern's faint hiss. The soldier looked at her hand stretched toward him, glowing faintly in the dim light. One move could change everything. Slowly, against every order drilled into his head, he lowered the rifle to the ground, his hand shaking as it reached out. Their fingers brushed, and in that instant the world shattered. A wave rushed through him, not like pain, not like fear, but like stepping into another life. His mind was no longer only his. He felt her, not her body, but her spirit, a rush of images, a flood of emotions. He gasped, pulling slightly back, but her grip tightened. He saw flashes of her childhood, strange skies with twin moons, the laughter of her people, the cries of war, the fire of destruction, and woven through it all, her fear, her hope, her desperate wish that this bond might end the endless killing. She saw him too. She saw Earth's blue oceans, the warmth of his family, the blood and dust of the war he fought, his doubts, his guilt, his anger, everything laid bare. He felt exposed, naked in a way no weapon could protect against. Her voice whispered inside his mind now, not with sound but with feeling. "You see me, and I see you. There are no lies here," the soldier gasped, breaking the silence with words that felt weak. This is impossible." Her eyes glowed brighter, her body trembling under the strain. "It is forbidden, not impossible. Our leaders banished this ritual because it shows truth, and truth is dangerous to those who want war." He pulled his hand away, stumbling back, his breath ragged. Sweat on his brow, he felt dizzy, overwhelmed. But part of him longed to touch her again, to see more, to understand more. "You're insane," he muttered, though his voice lacked conviction. "Perhaps," she whispered. "But you felt it, did you not? The bond has started. It cannot be undone now, only completed or broken with pain for both of us." His chest tightened. the meaning clear. He was trapped now, tied to her in ways he could not understand. If she spoke true, then rejecting her might kill them both. He looked at her, truly looked, and for the first time he saw not an enemy, not an intruder, but a being as fragile as himself, risking everything for something greater. The soldier sat down slowly, his rifle forgotten, his voice quiet. What happens next? Her answer was soft, but carried a weight that made the tent feel colder. Next, we must leave. Before your people or mine discover us, if they find us together, the ritual will end in blood. Outside, the wind howled across the barren land. The night no longer peaceful. The stars no longer cold. The soldier realized his life was no longer his own, and the path ahead would lead to danger. But deep inside, beneath the fear, a spark of curiosity burned. And that spark whispered that maybe, just maybe, she was right. And so the ritual began, not with trust, not with peace, but with a fragile touch that neither of them could forget. The soldier sat in silence, his hands still tingling from the touch. The alien woman's glowing lines had dimmed now, but her eyes stayed locked on his, steady, unshaken, as if she knew he could not run, as if she knew the bond had already begun. He tried to steady his breathing, but it was useless. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw her memories, strange skies, alien laughter, the grief of battles he never fought. Her pain echoed in his chest like it was his own. He clenched his fists, whispering under his breath, "This is not real. This cannot be real." But the bond did not care for his denial. It pressed deeper, and suddenly he felt something else. Fear, not his fear. Hers, sharp and raw. Hidden beneath her calm face, she was terrified. Yet she still stood before him, strong, unwavering. He stared at her, the truth settling in. "You're afraid," he said. Not as a question, but as a fact. Her lips parted in surprise, her voice soft. "You felt it?" He nodded slowly, his stomach twisting. "I don't just feel it, I know it like it's inside me." Her eyes glimmered, not with triumph, but with sorrow. "That is the bond. Our spirits touching, our truth shared. Now you cannot hide from me, and I cannot hide from you." The soldier looked away, his throat tight. He hated the thought of anyone seeing the shadows inside him, the guilt of men he could not save, the rage of battles he could not win. Yet she had seen it all, and she did not flinch. "What else do you see?" he demanded, his voice rough. She stepped closer, her glow faint in the dim tent. "I see your mercy. I see the moment you chose not to kill. I see the weight you carry every day, the burden of orders that crush your heart." His chest tightened. He wanted to shout at her, to tell her she was wrong, but the bond twisted again, and he felt her pain. The memory of her people burned alive in the war, the screams of children, the lies told by leaders, and then her own voice inside his head. "I'm tired of war," he gasped, stumbling back. "Stop it. Get out of my head." But even as he said it, he realized he was inside hers too. He could not leave, he could not escape. Her voice came gentle, though her body trembled. "It cannot be stopped. Once the ritual begins, the bond only grows. You feel me because I let you. I feel you because you let me." The soldier pressed a hand to his forehead, sweat dripping. He wanted to deny it, but deep inside he knew it was true. The connection was real, too real. Then he heard it, voices outside, faint but moving closer. The crunch of boots on the barren ground. Human patrol, or maybe alien scouts. He could not tell, but the danger was real. The alien woman stiffened, her glowing lines flaring brighter. "They are looking for me," she whispered. "If they find me here, they will kill us both." His instinct screamed to grab his rifle, to defend the tent, but she shook her head, her hand brushing his arm, and suddenly he felt her urgency inside his chest, the raw fear of being caught, the desperate need to run. He swallowed hard, whispering, "If I help you, if I hide you, I'll be branded a traitor." She met his eyes, her voice steady. "And if you don't?" "We both die tonight," the ritual unfinished. The bond wasted. The footsteps outside grew louder. Shadows moved across the thin tent walls, his pulse quickened. He imagined the soldiers lifting the flap, seeing her, raising their weapons. No explanation would save him. No excuse would protect her. The alien woman leaned closer, her words a soft plea. "Trust me, just this once." He closed his eyes, feeling her inside his mind again. The trembling of her heart, the fire of her determination, and against all reason he nodded quickly. He pulled the blanket from his cot, wrapping it around her glowing form, dimming her light. She crouched low as he positioned her against the corner. Hidden by shadows, the flap of the tent lifted. A human soldier peered inside, lantern in hand. "Everything all right in here?" he asked, his tone casual but his eyes sharp. Scanning the room, the soldier forced a steady breath. Nodding. "All clear, just trying to get some sleep." The lantern light lingered. Flickering over the tent's walls, the soldier felt sweat trickle down his neck, his heart pounding. Every second stretched like an hour. He prayed the glow of her skin would not slip past the blanket. Prayed the bond would not betray him. Finally, the soldier outside grunted, "Stay sharp. Command thinks something strange is moving in the area." And with that, he dropped the flap and walked away. Silence returned, heavy and suffocating. The soldier turned back to the corner. The alien woman slowly pulling the blanket away, her eyes wide with relief, her voice barely a whisper. "You risked yourself for me." He sank onto the cot, rubbing his face with both hands. "I must be losing my mind." Her glow softened, her expression unreadable, but he felt her emotions inside him. Gratitude, relief, and something else, something deeper he could not name. Then she whispered words that sent a chill down his spine. "Now you understand why the ritual is forbidden. It makes enemies act like allies. It makes strangers take risks they should never take. And once it begins, there is no going back." The soldier stared at her. His chest heavy, he wanted to deny it. But the truth was already inside him, crawling through his thoughts, binding him to her outside. The night was still alive with danger. Footsteps fading, patrols circling. But inside the tent, something greater had been born, something unseen, fragile but growing. And deep down he knew she was right. There was no going back. The soldier sat in silence, the blanket still half covering the alien woman. His heart was steadying after the near discovery. But the bond inside his mind kept pulsing, every beat reminding him that he was no longer alone in his thoughts. Her emotions mixed with his own, tangled like threads of the same rope. She stood slowly, brushing the blanket aside, her glowing lines brighter now, her eyes searching his face.
"We cannot stay here," she whispered.
"The patrols will circle again, and if they see us together, nothing will save us." He shook his head, whispering back, "If I leave camp without permission, they'll brand me a deserter. If they catch me with you, they'll execute me." "Do you understand what you're asking?" Her voice was steady, though her emotions betrayed her fear. "Yes, but you already chose when you touched my hand. When you let the ritual begin, if we stay, we die. If we run, there is a chance." The soldier grabbed his rifle, his mind a storm of doubts, but deep inside he knew she was right. Already he had broken the rules. Already he had hidden her from his own men. Staying meant certain death. Running meant danger. But danger was better than waiting for a noose. "Fine," he muttered. "But if this gets me killed, I'll haunt you." His attempt at humor was weak, but it made her lips curl in the faintest smile. They moved quickly, slipping out through the back of the tent. The campfires glowed faint in the distance, guards pacing slowly, their rifles slung over shoulders. The soldier kept low, guiding her between shadows, his training making every step careful, every pause precise. Her glow worried him, but she pressed her hands to her skin, dimming the light until only faint traces remained. "The ritual lets me bend my light," she whispered. But not for long. Together they crept across the barren land, the wind cold, the stars bright above them, the soldier's chest tight with every sound, every shifting shadow, but the bond pushed him forward. He felt her urgency, her desperate hope, and it became his own. When they reached the edge of the rocky hills, he pulled her into cover, his hand raised in warning. Voices drifted through the night, rough, harsh, not human. The alien woman's face paled, her voice barely a breath. "My people." Shapes moved along the ridge, tall and armored, weapons glowing faintly, their voices in a strange tongue. She closed her eyes as if the sound pained her. "They hunt me, they cannot know the ritual has begun. If they catch us, they will end it with blood." The soldier's jaw tightened. "So we're hunted from both sides." "Yes," she said, her gaze firm. "But together we can escape. Your skills, my knowledge, if we trust each other." He almost laughed, bitter and sharp. "Trust, you're asking a lot for someone who crept into my tent 2 hours ago." She leaned closer, her voice low but her eyes fierce. "And yet you saved me and I saved you. The bond works because we already began to trust, even if we deny it." Before he could reply, a sudden shout rang out. Alien voices sharp, weapons raised. They had been seen. "Run!" the soldier hissed, grabbing her wrist. They darted through the rocks, blaster fire lighting up the night, explosions echoing as stones shattered around them. The ground shook beneath their feet. The soldier's training kicked in, weaving between boulders, firing quick bursts from his rifle, forcing the enemy to duck. The alien woman raised her hands, her glowing lines flaring. A shimmer spread like a shield, deflecting shots that would have burned them. His eyes widened. "You could do that all along," her voice strained. Her body trembling. "Not for long, it drains me." They slid down a slope into a canyon, the soldier pulling her behind cover, their breaths ragged, the sound of pursuit closing in. He checked his rifle, half a clip left. Not enough for what was coming. The alien woman pressed a hand to his shoulder, her touch sending a wave of strength through him. Strange and unnatural, but real. The bond shares energy. "You will feel me when you fight," she whispered. And he did, his arms steadier, his focus sharper. As if her spirit flowed into him, he peeked around the rock and fired, dropping 2 of her people with precise shots. His movements faster than usual, but each time he pulled the trigger, he felt her flinch, pain flickering in her chest. The bond carried it back to him, reminding him that killing them hurt her too. "Stop," she begged, her voice breaking. "Every death tears me apart. We must escape." "Not slaughter them," he cursed under his breath, frustration burning, but her tears glimmered in the faint light, and he could not ignore them. He grabbed her hand, pulling her deeper into the canyon, searching for an exit. The chase grew louder, the hunters shouting, their steps echoing off the stone. The soldier's muscles burned, but the bond drove him on, her fear mixing with his determination. 2 lives running as one. Finally, they stumbled into a cavern, the air damp and heavy, strange glowing moss painting the walls with faint light. The soldier pressed her against the wall, his finger to his lips, both of them holding their breath as the voices passed above. Searching, hunting, minutes crawled by, until silence returned. Only the drip of water echoing in the cavern. The soldier lowered his rifle slowly, his body shaking from the sprint, his voice rough. "We can't keep running forever." The alien woman nodded, her glow faint, her body weak, but her eyes unyielding. "Then we stop running, and we start fighting for the truth. I did not come only to survive. I came to show what both our leaders hide." His brow furrowed. "What truth?" She leaned close, her whisper carrying more weight than any weapon. "That the war is built on lies, and if the ritual completes, everyone will see it." The soldier stared at her, his chest heavy, his mind torn, and in the silence of the cavern, the bond whispered again. Stronger than ever outside, the hunters searched. The night still alive with danger, but inside a decision was forming, and when it was made, there would be no turning back. The cavern was dark except for the faint moss glowing along the walls. The soldier leaned against a rock, his chest rising and falling, his rifle heavy in his hands. Across from him, the alien woman sat with her knees drawn close, her glowing lines flickering weakly. She was exhausted, yet her eyes never left him. The bond pulsed between them, each beat of her heart echoing faintly inside his chest. Each ragged breath of his mirrored in hers. They were tied now, closer than he wanted to admit, and the truth frightened him more than the enemies outside. Finally, he broke the silence, his voice rough. "You said the ritual cannot be undone, that we are tied. Explain what that really means." She lowered her gaze, her voice quiet. "It means your life is my life, and mine is yours. If one of us dies, the other dies too. If one of us breaks, the other breaks with them. This is why it was forbidden. This is why they will hunt us until the bond is broken." The soldier froze, her words sinking like stone in water. "You mean if I take a bullet, you fall too?" She nodded, her face pale. "Yes, and if I fall, so will you. This is why the bond must be completed. Only then will it show truth to others. Only then will it matter. Otherwise, it is only death waiting for us both." His fists clenched. His instincts screamed at him to walk away, to cut free, but he knew now there was no walking away. The bond had trapped him as surely as chains. Before he could reply, the ground shook with a distant blast, dust falling from the cavern ceiling. The sound of weapons echoed through the canyon outside, heavy footsteps closing in. The alien woman's head snapped up, fear flashing across her face. "They've tracked us." The soldier grabbed his rifle, his voice steady now. "Then we fight." The footsteps grew louder, voices sharp echoing against the stone, beams of alien light cutting through the entrance. The cavern lit with harsh glow as armored figures stormed in. Their weapons raised, the soldier fired first, bursts of gunfire lighting the dark, the echoes deafening. One alien soldier dropped, another ducked. Return fire sizzled against the walls. The cavern shook with every blast. The alien woman raised her hands, her glowing lines burning bright. A shield of light formed around them, energy bolts striking and scattering. The soldier glanced at her, sweat on her brow, her body trembling. "You can't hold it forever," he shouted. Her teeth clenched, her voice strained. "Then make every second count." He stepped from behind the shield, firing precise bursts, his training guiding him, but he felt it. Each time he pulled the trigger, her body jolted. Pain lancing through her chest, the bond carried it to her. Every death tearing her spirit. "Stop," she gasped, her shield flickering. Too much, it hurts too much, but if he stopped, they would both die. His mind raged with the choice. Her pain against their survival. He fired again and again, enemies falling. Her cry tearing through his head, her tears burning his heart. Then an explosion rocked the cavern. The shield shattered, stone collapsing, dust filling the air. The soldier grabbed her, pulling her behind cover as the roof cracked. Boulders crashing down. Screams from enemy soldiers crushed beneath. Silence followed, broken only by falling dust and the ragged gasps of breath. The soldier coughed, his body bruised, his ears ringing. The alien woman clung to him, her body trembling. Her glow dimmed almost to nothing. He looked at her, his throat tight. "You protected me. You almost died for me." Her eyes glistened with tears, her voice weak but steady. "That is the bond. I cannot let you fall. If you die, I die too. Better I burn than see you broken." His chest ached. Not from wounds, but from her words. He had seen courage on the battlefield, but nothing like this. She was his enemy, yet she shielded him with her life. He tightened his grip on his rifle, his voice rough. "Then we finish this. We don't run anymore. We fight until the truth is out." Her gaze met his, fierce even through her weakness. "Yes, but not by killing them all. The bond shows more than death. It shows truth. We must survive long enough to reveal it." The soldier frowned, his heart heavy, but deep down he knew she was right. Bullets alone would not win this war. The bond had to be seen, felt, believed by others. Another rumble shook the cavern. Dust falling again, the voices outside regrouping. More soldiers approaching. The alien woman gripped his hand, her glow flaring faintly, her words sharp and urgent. "We have to move. Deeper into the caves there is a path. But it is dangerous." He nodded, pulling her close, his voice firm. "Danger is all we've got left." Together they slipped into the deeper tunnels, the echoes of pursuit behind them. The cavern twisting into darkness lit only by her faint glow, the bond pulsing stronger with every step. As they moved, he felt it again. Not just her fear, not just her pain, but her determination. Her belief that this bond could end the war. It burned inside him, strange and fierce, as if her spirit was becoming part of his own. The soldier tightened his grip on her hand, his voice low. "If we're tied, if one of us falls, the other falls too. Then we don't fall. Not tonight, not ever. We survive. We finish this." Her glow brightened at his words, her eyes shining, and for the first time, a fragile hope passed between them, but behind them the hunters closed in, their shouts echoing through the tunnels, the sound of war following them into the dark, and ahead the path twisted deeper, leading to dangers unknown. The bond was tested in fire, and the fire had only begun. The tunnels stretched on in endless twists, the walls damp with glowing moss, the air heavy with silence. The soldier led the way with his rifle raised, his boots crunching softly against the stone. Behind him the alien woman followed, her glow dim but steady, the bond between them pulsing stronger with every step. He felt her exhaustion in his chest, like his own body was weakening, but he also felt her determination, burning fierce and unshaken. He knew she felt his doubt too, the fear he tried to bury, but neither of them spoke it aloud. They walked in silence, their thoughts no longer private. Finally they reached a wider chamber, the ceiling high, the air cooler. The soldier stopped, scanning for threats, but the only sound was dripping water echoing from somewhere unseen. The alien woman moved past him, her hand brushing the wall, her eyes soft with memory. "I know this place," she whispered, her glow faint against the stone. "My people once used these caves as sanctuaries. Before the war, before the lies." The soldier frowned, lowering his rifle slightly. "You keep talking about lies. About truth, stop hiding it. Tell me what you know." Her shoulders stiffened. Her glowing lines pulsed faintly. She turned to him, her face solemn. "If I tell you, there is no return. Once you hear it, you will be hunted not only by my people, but by yours too." His grip tightened on the rifle, his voice sharp. "I'm already hunted." "Tell me." For a long moment she stared at him, her eyes unreadable, but through the bond he felt her fear, Her reluctance, her need for him to understand. Finally, she stepped closer, her voice low. The war is built on a lie. Neither of our people wanted this fight. It was forced upon us by leaders who profit from blood. The soldier blinked, confusion tightening his brow. Profit? What are you talking about? Her glow brightened as her emotions surged. Anger, grief, sorrow, your leaders and mine. They made an agreement in secret. They fuel this war to keep power, to keep control. Each side told their people the other struck first. Each side spread stories of betrayal. But the truth is, no attack ever happened. It was staged. His chest tightened, his thoughts spinning, images of endless battles, of orders given without reason, of comrades dying for territory no one understood. It all slammed into him, the bond amplifying his doubt, making it impossible to ignore. You're saying... His voice cracked. You're saying we've been killing each other for nothing. Her eyes glistened with tears, her voice trembling. Not for nothing. For them, for their power, for their lies, but never for peace, never for survival. The soldier shook his head, anger boiling inside him. I don't believe it. Humans wouldn't. But he stopped himself, because deep inside he did believe it. The bond forced him to feel her truth, to taste the bitter grief she carried. There was no lie in her words. The alien woman stepped closer, her hand touching his arm. This is why the ritual is forbidden. Because if the bond is completed before others, it will reveal everything. The visions will be shared, everyone will see, and the war will crumble. His throat tightened, his mind raging. Then why hasn't it been done before? Why hasn't anyone tried? Her eyes darkened. They did long ago, and they were silenced. Their bond broken, their lives erased, but I will not let it happen again. Not this time. The soldier turned away, pacing the chamber, his fists clenched, the weight of her words pressing like stone on his chest. His loyalty to his commanders battled with the truth glowing in her eyes, the truth echoing through their bond. Through clenched teeth, he muttered, If this is true, if everything we've fought for is a lie, then I've killed, I've bled, my brothers have died, all for nothing. Her hand touched his again, her glow softening. Not for nothing, for survival, for hope. You carried mercy even when ordered to kill. That is why I chose you, because your spirit is stronger than their lies. He met her gaze, their bond thrumming like a heartbeat, and for the first time he felt her hope as his own, fragile but real. Before he could speak, a sharp noise echoed down the tunnel, metal striking stone, voices calling, footsteps approaching fast. Their pursuers had found the trail again. The alien woman's glow brightened, urgency flashing through the bond. We have little time, the truth must be shown, and the bond must be completed soon or we will die hunted. The soldier raised his rifle, his voice steady despite the storm inside him. Then we make it. No matter what it takes. The chamber shook as another blast struck the cavern entrance, dust raining down, shadows moving in the light. Enemies closing in. The soldier pulled her behind cover, his pulse pounding. But the bond whispered with strange calm. This was no longer only survival, no longer only escape. This was about truth, about ending the war, about showing both species what had been hidden for too long. And as the cavern doors cracked open with fire and shouts, the soldier knew the final part of the ritual would soon decide not just their fate, but the fate of two worlds. The cavern shook as blasts echoed through the tunnels. Dust fell from the ceiling, shouts rang out. The enemy was closing in from every side. The soldier gripped his rifle tight, his heart racing. The alien woman stood beside him, her glowing lines flaring bright, her eyes fixed forward, her voice calm though the bond carried her fear into his chest. This is it, she whispered. If we die here, the bond ends with us. If we complete it, the truth will be seen by all. We have only this chance. The soldier nodded, though doubt still weighed heavy in his mind. His commanders, his orders, his loyalty to the uniform, all of it clashed against the bond, pulling him closer to her truth. But he had already risked everything, already walked too far into this path. There was no turning back. The cavern door cracked open. Soldiers poured in, humans on one side, aliens on the other, their weapons raised, their shouts loud and full of hatred. Both armies had followed the trail. Both had come to end what they did not understand. The soldier lifted his rifle, ready to fight. But the alien woman stepped in front of him, her voice sharp and steady. No, not with bullets, not with death. With the bond. He stared at her, his chest tight. They'll kill us if we stand here. Her glowing hand reached for his, her voice firm. Then let them watch us die together, because in that moment they will see. The bond throbbed stronger as their fingers touched. A wave of heat rushing through his body, visions flashing before his eyes, his life, her life, the wars, the lies, the cries of children from both species, everything twisted together in one endless thread. The soldiers stormed into the chamber, rifles aimed, commanders shouting orders. The soldier heard voices from both sides. Fire! End them! Kill the traitor! But before the first shot rang out, the bond exploded in light. The alien woman's glow surged, wrapping around them both, the cavern filled with blinding radiance, the air alive with energy, the bond pulling them into a final stage. The soldier gasped as memories not his own flooded through him. Not just hers, but now his memories poured outward, projected into the minds of everyone present. The bond no longer private, it had become a beacon. The humans dropped their rifles, their eyes wide as vision struck them. They saw alien children playing under twin moons, families torn apart by war, leaders whispering lies into the dark. The aliens froze, their weapons trembling, as human memories struck them too. Oceans of blue water, laughter of families on Earth, the screams of dying soldiers who never knew why they fought, commanders hiding truth behind banners of pride. Both sides cried out, some dropped to their knees, others clutched their heads, the visions too strong to deny, the bond tearing down every wall, showing every soul the truth that had been buried. The soldier staggered, his knees weak, but the alien woman held him upright, her glow brighter than ever, her voice rising through the chamber. See it, all of you, see the truth. We are not enemies. We are not beasts, we are the same. Our leaders have bound us in chains of lies, but no chain can hold forever. Her words echoed, amplified by the bond, carried into the hearts of both armies. The soldier added his voice, his throat raw, but his spirit burning. We fought for banners, for orders, for lies. But I have felt her pain, and she has felt mine. There is no enemy here. Only people who bleed the same. Silence followed. Heavy, broken only by the sound of falling dust. Soldiers lowered their weapons slowly, their eyes wide, some filled with tears. Commanders shouted, demanding obedience, but the crowd no longer moved. The truth had shattered the chains. The bond pulsed one last time, stronger than ever. The soldier felt her inside him fully, not just fear and pain, but hope, fierce and alive. She felt his too, his mercy, his strength, his courage to speak, their spirits now bound forever. The glow faded slowly, the cavern dim once more. But nothing was the same. Humans and aliens stared at each other, not with hatred, but with confusion, with questions, with the seed of change. The alien woman leaned against the soldier, her body weak but her smile soft. It is done. The ritual is complete. He looked at her, his chest tight, his voice quiet. And what now? Her gaze lifted to the soldiers still watching. Now they choose, now both our worlds must choose, and for the first time, no shot was fired, no sword raised. Both sides stood frozen, shaken by what they had seen. The soldier tightened his grip on her hand, the bond warm and steady. He knew the war would not vanish in a single night. He knew leaders would fight to keep their power, but he also knew the truth was free now, carried in the minds of every witness. Impossible to bury again. The cavern was silent, but the silence was not empty. It was full, heavy, alive with something greater than fear, greater than hate. It was alive with possibility. And as the soldier stood there, bound forever to the alien woman at his side, he realized this bond was not the end of his life. It was the beginning of a new history, a history where humanity chose not only survival, but mercy, not only war, but unity. And in that moment, the human spirit shone brighter than any weapon. Brighter than any lie, the bond was complete, and the future had changed forever.